man oh man. Kinda had my suspicions after watching what happened with the Bad Batch 2-episode debut all by themselves, the adventures on Sereno, and no hint of Crosshair at all. I knew that the next episode would be heavily featuring Crosshair, but I didn't envision that it would be completely focused on him. And what's more, spoilers of course, Commander Cody is officially back, ladies and gentlemen. These two go on a special mission, and it was just a beautiful episode all around. The Bad Batch, the literal name of the show, the Bad Batch, was not featured. Clone Force 99 was nowhere to be seen in this episode. It reminded me of the Book of Boba Fett episodes where the Mandalorian had the show all to himself a couple of times there, but both times, you gotta admit, it was something special and beautiful. And where we start with this episode is immediately on the planet of Desix. All of a sudden, an alarm goes off, and we see that a shuttle, an Imperial shuttle, is landing on the planet. Everybody is running as if their life depended on it. But we quickly understand that, of course, we see that an Imperial, Governor Groton and his team of stormtroopers land on the planet and finally meet the governor, the actual governor, Tawny Ames. The Imperial governor informs that he has come to relieve her of her title and he will now become the de facto governor of this planet, to which Tawny Ames tells him that Desix doesn't fall under Imperial jurisdiction. You see, this planet back in the day was a separatist planet, and they are pretty remote. We see that even during the Clone Wars, they were heading towards peace agreements even back then, but of course, Supreme Chancellor Palpatine did not agree with that. Groton tells her that obviously this appeal of her being out of Imperial jurisdiction has been rejected. Tawny and her people now are left with no choice but to capture the governor as hostage and begin negotiation. One thing to note always is the art style, especially since Clone Wars Season 7, the art style for these series, Clone Force Season 7, Bad Batch Season 1 and 2, is spectacular. Tales of the Jedi falls under that especially. And I really loved this planet of Desix and its broody red sand type of vibes. Very much reminiscent of Dune, sort. This is where we cut to Crosshair. By the looks of him, we can see that he has some trouble sleeping. The morning starts, he goes to the cafeteria to get his breakfast on. One interesting note you might have missed is a defense bill that the clones are talking about, and one of the clones even suggests that he hopes it doesn't pass. This leads us to believe that it has something to do with negating the need for clones and upping the recruitment and the use of regular human stormtroopers. The title, The Solitary Clone, is made apparent right now as Crosshair sits, everybody stands, does not want to sit with. It is at that time that Admiral Rampart calls CT-9904, which of course Crosshair, and knowing what we know from the last episode, we know that Rampart is heavy vigilant right now, knowing that the Bad Batch has survived the skirmish on Kamino and is kind of biding his time with Crosshair. He even probes Crosshair about how he survived Kamino during all that time that he was stranded there. Nevertheless, he gives them the ultimate mission of going to Desix. This all will be disguised as a diplomatic mission, but instead they should go secure the city for the Empire and save Governor Groton, who is being held hostage. And while Crosshair thinks he is leading the mission, Rampart quickly makes notice that he is not ready for that yet, and that there is a commander in charge of this mission, but he is not him. From the trailers, I immediately recognized who it's gonna be, and it was awesome to see Commander Cody back again. As Crosshair was waiting in the memorial, we hear a sound, turn to see it's Commander Cody. Again, a scene from the trailers is that Cody tells him a lot of clones are questioning Order 66. There's some clones even that have gone AWOL, meaning they have disappeared. But again, as per protocol, Crosshair says that all these clones are traitors, just like the Jedi. This kind of hits home for Cody, as I think his mind went to his Jedi general back in the day, but with that, they leave for their mission. As both guys and their battalion leaves for their mission, Cody informs everybody about how they're gonna proceed and what their mission really is. This gave me a lot of Clone Wars vibes, but from a completely different perspective. This had all the setting of a Clone Wars mission, of course. Commander Cody is involved, a lot of clones are involved, but not only that, B-1 battle droids, droidicas, separatists against the Republic, who is now a galactic empire. This had all the makings of a great Clone Wars episode, but it is extremely sad to the point where in the end, you don't really root for anybody. They make it so that you root for Tawny and her separatist ideals, but not really. In the end, everybody is left with a hole in their heart, pain, outside of Governor Groton, who is just a Weasley evil person. Otherwise, this was pretty grim and sad. Moreover, we understand that Tawny Ames is not a fool. She knows exactly what the Empire is doing, and as soon as they are in range, a tactical droid together with B-1 battle droids start attacking the Imperial ship that Cody and are aboard. However, again, Clone Wars vibes, Crosshair and Cody make easy work of these droids who are at first sure that they have perished. These guys just trick, and then Crosshair goes a step further, blows up a tank with one shot from his sniper rifle. It is so great that even Cody compliments. What Dave Filoni does with these episodes is kind of genius, because in a way, we don't even realize that we need a duo until we see it. We don't know what the chemistry will be between characters until we actually witness Commander Cody and Crosshair working great together side by side. Some would say Cody had an even better partnership with Crosshair, rather than Rex or anybody else. I mean, the mirror pucks and all that. Cody definitely helped Crosshair get his aim on, and they decimated not only the droidicas, assassin droids, but also the tactical droid. It was just a masterful partnership between these two. Teamwork at best. Of course, now rip to Nova, who didn't make it through till the end. A lot of clones. In the last episode, it was Captain Wilco. This episode, it was Nova. It's clone after clone falling and us remembering him. Nova, gone but not forgotten. Quick but short work, but effective at that. It bears mentioning that Cody, throughout all this time, we can see that he is doing this with the heavy heart, heavy face. Back when he was talking about clones not agreeing with the orders, you could clearly see in his face that he is conflicted. When they arrive in Desix, he even goes on to make sure that civilians are not being threatened, that they are here for peaceful purposes, as we see with the woman and the child. This is why Cody ultimately feels betrayed by everybody and everything, because he promises Tawny Ames they are here for a peaceful resolution, and that she will get, as they don't want any more bloodshed. Just put the weapon down and let Governor Groton go. Of course, as soon as Tawny lets Groton out of her grasp and her blaster, Groton immediately orders for them to kill Tawny Ames, who was seeking for peace, but eventually we see that she knew she wasn't getting out of this alive. She knew that even back in the day the Republic broke their promises. What hope did she have of this Empire keeping promises now? And who pulls the trigger? It wasn't Commander Cody, to his credit. It was, of course, Crosshair, who is the ultimate soldier at this point. And the worst thing is, it never stops from this point, the betrayal that Commander Cody feels from the Empire. Once they broke the promise that he gave to Tawny Ames, now Governor Groton orders them to put her body on the square for everybody to see, so that they can learn this lesson. Now his crew is getting aboard the shuttle to leave. He sees that stormtroopers are actually landing down on the city to secure its premises and its people. Effectively, the clones have been wiped out systematically. You could see it in his face, and I loved these moments and these scenes because no conversation needs to be had. We can, even though this is all animation, we can feel the pain that is coming from Commander Cody, that he is realizing not only is the Empire treacherous and we shouldn't be defending it, the worst part is they have been rendered useless. The clones are no longer the big shot. The Grand Army of the Republic is gone. The glory that they were bred for is false. All the Empire needs now is a police force that will secure its citizens with an iron fist. Of course, we're going to be talking about this for a long time, is when they return at the memorial scene again. By this point, Commander Cody has all but given up, and he even asks Crosshair if they're making the galaxy better with this new empire. Crosshair goes on with his ordinary spiel. They are soldiers and they need to do whatever they need to do. Cody tells him though that the difference between them and battle droids is that clones make their own choices, and ultimately when they make these choices, they will have to live with. This means that Cody not only is observing everything and absorbing everything that has happened recently, but I think deep inside he was talking about him trying to kill Obi-Wan and killing a lot of Jedi possibly during Order 66. This is what he is living with day in and day out. And in the end, we learn from Admiral Rampart, who does not leave Crosshair alone. He cannot have a single meal, for crying out loud. Every time he sits down in the cafeteria, he's being called upon. We learn from Vice Admiral Rampart that Commander Cody has finally went AWOL. He has disappeared, and sneakingly Rampart is ribbing Crosshair a bit with this comment saying that every clone around him seems to strangely disappear, meaning Clone Force 99, now Commander Cody, and he fully insinuating that he fully expects for Crosshair to disappear one day as well. I mean, the fans are definitely hoping for that, but this is essentially how the episode ends, and it was very, very brutal. It was very dark in a sense that there was no single joy outside of us seeing Commander Cody again and being kind of happy about that. Nothing about this episode gives us any indication of hope, prosperity, security, anything. We just are left with a bitter taste in our mouths, and it is understood that the Empire is ruling fear, intimidation, and an iron fist. Determination. Nothing is escaping its grasp, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see Crosshair defend it time and time again. When will it finally break? One of his last scenes, we can see that he now has even trouble falling asleep. He can't even sleep. So this is going to be interesting moving forward. What do you guys think? Also, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below. Subscribe for dailies. Now you have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.